I was not capable of being a student because of my deep passion for entrepreneurship.
If it makes you come alive, you have to keep going, even if people around you say you're crazy. You are crazy. You're trying to be the world's greatest at something.
You have to sit and ask yourself what is truly going to get you up in the morning, what's going to keep you up at night. And when you find what that answer is, you stay true to that.
Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Gary Vaynerchuk.
I mean, that's a real entrepreneur. She or he loves it so much, they couldn't be, I mean, my actions have spoken long before entrepreneurship was cool. I was not capable of being a student because of my deep passion for entrepreneurship. It was baseball cards. It was baseball cards that didn't allow me to be a good student. I was incapable of sitting in class and not dreaming about selling Bo Jackson cards. It took me over. But for some reason, when you're an athlete and you're missing a bunch of school because you're a great athlete, or when you're Beyonce being homeschooled, right? That makes sense, but not for entrepreneurs, right? Doesn't seem like you're allowed to miss a ton of school. If you're an unbelievable actor, actress, singer, athlete, missing normal school is something that all of us in this room and listening right now understand. You're like, oh yeah, that's what happens. Like you're the best quarterback in the world. Yeah, you gotta throw with the quarterback. You miss first class, but not for entrepreneurs. But that's who I was.
Chasing down your dream, even if everyone around you thinks you're crazy, is the only way you're gonna win. I like to say that everybody has Michael Jordan level talent at something. Everyone, yes, you, right there, you could be the greatest of all time at something. The problem is most of us settle for something just over survival, something just good enough to get by, instead of going for something that you could be the greatest of all time at. The toughest choice I ever had to make in my life was whether I should become an entrepreneur or go take this six-figure job traveling around the world in investment banking. And I thought I wanted to be an investment banker, but I had this thing gnawing at me saying I need to at least try this entrepreneurship path, just to test, just to see. Nobody in my family was an entrepreneur. I didn't have an upbringing of entrepreneurship. I didn't have heroes or role models around me who were entrepreneurs that I wanted to model and be like them. I thought I wanted to be a banker. But when this opportunity came up, I did not want to live with regret. That's the final filter through which I made my decision. I looked at the two decisions. This is where you can't just make your list. When you're faced with a really tough decision, you have to make your big decisions with your heart and the small ones with the head. What do I do? The most difficult decision of my life, what do I do? Do I take this job? Or do I try to be an entrepreneur, make $300 a month and have 30% of a company? What's the best call? I did not want to live with regret. I asked myself, if I'm 100 years old and I'm sitting on a rocking chair and I'm in a retirement home and I'm about to go, this is it, this is the end of my life. When I look back on this moment right now, I look back on it, what will I regret more? Saying no to the job or saying no to the business? And I thought, you know what? I can always get another job. I could. It may not be the same job. It may not be in Asia like this one was. It may not be traveling as much, but I can get another job that's similar. This business, I don't know if I'm ever going to get the shot again. I don't know if this will ever come around again. I'm going to regret it if I don't know. And I adopted the mentality that I would rather know and fail than not know. I had to know. And so I did it. And I never went back to investment banking or any other kind of job. It wasn't easy. I struggled. I suffered. For those of you who've gone deep into my story, you know a lot of the trials and tribulations I had to go through. But you come out a different person. There's no going back. When you make those difficult decisions, you become a different person. And so I can't just leave that and go be an investment banker. And so I think everybody has Michael Jordan level talent. I think you have genius. You could be the greatest of all time at something. You either don't know what it is, and then it's your duty to go and explore and find it. Don't settle for the first three things that come to you. Explore. You have an idea, you have intuition about something, chase it down, try it, see it, taste it, taste it. If it makes you come alive, you have to keep going, even if people around you say you're crazy. You are crazy. You're trying to be the world's greatest at something. Look at who's telling you this advice. It may be out of love, but are they the greatest at what they do? Did they chase down their dreams? Or did they settle? Don't take advice to settle from people who settled. They love you. They're scared. Don't take on their fear. You want to be great. You have to chase down your path, and I'm going to give you a 3-step process to do it. Step number 1 is write down your dream. Write it down. Make it visual. Not just here on your phone, but like take out a pen and paper and write it down. Write it down. Get it out of your head and put it on paper. That crazy thing, as soon as you start to express it, seems a little bit less crazy. As long as it's in your head, this crazy idea you have, as long as you're tinkering and toying, it's safe. It's in this development zone. But as soon as you get it down on paper, it becomes more real. You look at it and you get a little bit more scared. That's great. This is the start. This is the expression. This is the getting it out into the world. You have to write down your dream. Step number 2, ask yourself, what will you regret if you don't chase down this dream? Do what I did. Imagine yourself, you're 100 years old, you're in an old age home, you're sitting on a rocking chair, it's over. Like, you're done. You can't go back and do this again. You don't have the energy, you don't have the brain power anymore, you can't actually do it. What are you gonna regret? Are you gonna regret not doing path A or not doing path B? Write down all the reasons why. Make it powerful, make it compelling. You don't wanna end up at the end of your life telling yourself, I could have done more. I could have been the greatest. I could have been the greatest at something. And I settled because I was afraid. Write down what your future regrets will be if you don't take action on your dream. And step number 3, write down what you're gonna do today to make progress. What are you gonna do today? It's great writing down your dream. It's great to get motivated and think about all the reasons you're gonna regret if you don't do it, but you still have to do something. It comes down to action, you gotta do. So you may not have all the steps figured out, that's okay. If you have a dream, it should be big. You should know how you're gonna get there. If you have all the steps figured out, then it's not a big enough dream. If you have complete certainty of how you're gonna do it, it's not a big enough dream. You're capable of more. And you're capable of doing the first step. What's the first step? So today, you wrote it down, amazing. What's next? Reach out to someone, post, ask questions. Momentum, action, that's what's missing. You're a genius. You're the greatest of all time at something. You have to trust in that, and you have to build momentum towards it. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I wanna know, what will you regret if you don't chase down your dream? Let me know in the comments below.
You have a brand, you have a shoe, but you've chosen to do something else, something that's more bold, something that you really haven't done before. Can you tell us why you're doing this, why you're going into a creative endeavor like Granity Studios?
Because I love doing it. I mean, it's that simple. You know, you have to sit and ask yourself what is truly going to get you up in the morning, what's going to keep you up at night, and you know, when you find what that answer is, you stay true to that. You know, I've built a brand for the last 20-some years, personal brand, which is great, but that is not where our focus is going to be for the next 50 years. Right? It's what we are doing now. Are we taking a big risk? Yeah, but I think that if we focus on one thing and do that one thing exceptionally well, we won't fail at that one thing. So sometimes you got to put the other stuff to bed and focus on what you believe is the core of the company, and that always starts from what you love to do the most.
You went to law school, then you actually went into law, you're kind of starting your law career, and then you realize, I don't want to be doing this.
You're absolutely right. I had started my career in law. One of the things that helped me, and I suggest this to people generally, is to think about whom do you envy. Because envy is a very, very unpleasant emotion, but it reveals a lot. And one of the things that helped me as I was figuring out whether I wanted to try to be a writer was when I would read the alum notes in my college magazine, people who had cool law jobs, I was like, that sounds interesting. But then when people had cool writing jobs, I just felt sick with envy. And so I began, and also at that time, I started to have an idea for a book that I wanted to write which was published, called Power, Money, Fame, Stacks, A User's Guide. And I began to realize, I'm writing this book on the weekend, but some people write a book as their job. And my sister was a professional writer. She's a TV writer. And I got to the point where I thought, I'd rather fail as a writer than succeed as a lawyer. And my husband and I were moving from Washington to DC to New York. So there was this sort of logical transition, and I thought, if I don't try it now, if I get another law job, I'm not sure I will ever have like the wherewithal to make a switch. So this is my moment. This is the obvious time to give it a shot. So why don't I try? And so I went to the bookstore and got a book called something like How to Write and Sell Your Nonfiction Book Proposal, and just followed the directions.
You're probably wondering, is there more for John Maxwell at this age? Are you finished writing? Are you starting a whole new thing?
No.
Are you, you're not going to stop dreaming?
No, I'm not even. In fact, I'm having the greatest time of my life. I'm learning more right now than I've ever learned. Through the John Maxwell Leadership Foundation, we're doing transformation in countries, and we're seeing greater changes and than I've ever seen before. And people come say, well, when are you going to retire? And I'm not going to retire. That doesn't seem to satisfy them. So I just tell them, when I die, I'll retire. I won't do any more speaking. I won't write any more books. When I'm dead, I'm dead. But I think what I want to do is live until I die and not get the two confused. You know what I mean?
If you want Gary V's advice to know if you're a true entrepreneur or not, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
If you're a purebred entrepreneur, you love the dark clouds.
When there's chaos and negativity around you, that's your chance to build an amazing business.